Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm in the face of adversity, while others lose control? Why do some individuals navigate life's challenges with grace, while others react impulsively? What if I told you that the less you react, the more control you actually have? Before we dive in, take a moment to share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more insightful content that empowers you to live a better life. The ability to stay composed in difficult situations is not just a matter of temperament, but a skill that can be developed. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected events are bound to happen. However, how we respond to these events determines our mental well-being, relationships, and overall success. Understanding the power of self-control can be the key to unlocking a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Throughout this discussion, we will explore how relinquishing control over external circumstances allows us to gain mastery over our internal world. We will also delve into the critical difference between reacting and responding, and how adopting the right approach can redefine our character. Additionally, we will examine techniques to strengthen emotional resilience, cultivate patience, and shift from an instinctual response system to an intentional one. By the end, you'll have actionable strategies that will empower you to maintain composure in any situation. Now let's dive in. 1. Master control. Let go of what you can't change. The first step in mastering self-control is understanding that you can't control everything. You can't dictate how others behave or how life unfolds, but you can control how you respond. When you react emotionally, you give away your power. When you pause and choose your response wisely, you reclaim control over your mind and actions. Life is full of uncertainties. People may disappoint you, unexpected situations may arise, and plans may not always go as expected. However, resisting these realities only leads to frustration and stress. The key to inner peace is recognizing what is within your control and what isn't. When you accept that you cannot control external circumstances, you liberate yourself from unnecessary suffering and open yourself up to new possibilities for growth. Consider this. Have you ever found yourself enraged by someone's actions, only to realize later that your emotional reaction caused more harm than the original situation? In those moments, you relinquish control over yourself. By learning to pause, breathe, and assess a situation before reacting, you shift from a place of impulsive emotions to one of thoughtful consideration. This mindset allows you to approach challenges with a calm and collected demeanor, making wiser decisions that align with your long-term goals rather than short-term frustrations. One effective way to let go of what you can't change is to practice mindfulness. By focusing on the present moment and acknowledging your emotions without being controlled by them, you strengthen your ability to stay composed. Journaling, meditation, and deep breathing exercises can also help in fostering emotional regulation. In addition, engaging in activities that promote relaxation, such as yoga or spending time in nature, can reinforce a mindset of acceptance and peace. Another powerful strategy is cognitive reframing, shifting your perspective on a situation. Instead of viewing a setback as a failure, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. By changing the narrative in your mind, you regain power over your thoughts and emotions. Reminding yourself that challenges are temporary and that you have overcome difficulties before can also be incredibly empowering. Letting go of what you can't control is not about giving up, but about redirecting your energy toward what truly matters: your personal growth, your emotional well-being, and your ability to navigate life with confidence and grace. The sooner you master this, the more peace and clarity you will experience in your daily life. 2. React or respond, the choice that defines you. There's a big difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is impulsive, often driven by emotion. Responding, on the other hand, is intentional and aligned with your values. The next time you feel provoked, take a deep breath, reflect, and choose your response. This single decision can redefine your character and transform how others perceive you. When faced with an emotionally charged situation, our first instinct is often to react. This knee-jerk reaction is usually influenced by past experiences, deep-seated fears, and emotional triggers. Unfortunately, reacting impulsively can lead to regret, misunderstandings, and damaged relationships. Responding, however, is a conscious choice. It requires self-awareness, patience, and discipline. To better understand the difference, imagine two scenarios. In the first, someone cuts you off in traffic. You immediately honk, shout, or feel a surge of anger. In the second scenario, you take a deep breath, acknowledge the frustration, and choose to let it go, realizing that getting upset won't change what happened. The second approach keeps you in control of your emotions, preventing unnecessary stress, and allowing you to stay focused on the bigger picture. One of the most effective ways to train yourself to respond instead of react is to implement the pause principle. Whenever you feel triggered, count to 5 before saying or doing anything. This small delay allows your rational mind to take control instead of your emotions dictating your behavior. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain composed in challenging situations, fostering a sense of confidence and inner peace. Additionally, emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in responding effectively. Being aware of your emotions, understanding why you feel a certain way, and managing those emotions constructively can significantly enhance your ability to respond thoughtfully. Developing empathy, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, also helps in diffusing tension and fostering meaningful connections. If you take a step back and consider what may be influencing another person's behavior, you'll often find that their actions have more to do with their struggles than with you personally. Building the habit of responding rather than reacting also involves practicing delayed gratification. Instead of seeking immediate validation or expressing frustration in the moment, learn to channel your emotions into constructive outlets, such as writing, exercising, or engaging in productive discussion at a later time when you are calmer. The more you practice this, the more you will strengthen your ability to handle high-pressure situations with grace. Ultimately, the choice between reacting and responding is a reflection of who you are and who you aspire to be. Choosing to respond rather than react not only improves your interactions with others, but also cultivates inner peace, resilience, and self-respect. It's a skill that takes practice, but with consistent effort, you can master it and lead a life of greater emotional control, wisdom, and fulfillment. 3. Stay calm under pressure. When faced with crisis, staying calm is your superpower. It is the ability to think clearly, make rational decisions, and maintain emotional stability in the midst of chaos. Many people react impulsively when under pressure, allowing stress and anxiety to dictate their actions. However, mastering the art of staying calm grants you an advantage in any high-stakes situation, whether it's a professional challenge, a personal dilemma, or an unexpected emergency. One of the most effective ways to cultivate a calm mind is through breathing techniques, such as box breathing. This technique, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold again, helps regulate your nervous system and reduces the physiological effects of stress. Controlled breathing sends signals to your brain that you are safe, allowing your body to shift from a fight or flight response to a state of relaxation and focus. The more you practice these breathing exercises, the more equipped you become to handle high-pressure moments with composure. Another essential skill in staying calm is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness means being fully present in the moment rather than dwelling on past mistakes or fearing future uncertainties. By focusing on what you can control in the present, you develop resilience against panic and overreaction. Simple mindfulness exercises, such as observing your surroundings, engaging in a grounding technique, like feeling the texture of an object or repeating a calming mantra, can help reinforce a steady mental state. Additionally, cultivating mental discipline through visualization can enhance your ability to remain composed. Many elite athletes, military personnel, and leaders use visualization techniques to prepare for high-pressure scenarios. By mentally rehearsing difficult situations and envisioning yourself responding with confidence and clarity, you program your mind to act accordingly when a real challenge arises. This practice builds mental fortitude, making it easier to stay calm under pressure. Moreover, perspective plays a crucial role in maintaining composure. Often, we react emotionally to situations that may not be as catastrophic as they initially seem. Training yourself to step back and assess the bigger picture can prevent unnecessary stress and impulsive decisions. Asking yourself questions like, will this matter in a week, a year, or what is the worst that could happen and can I handle it, helps reframe the situation in a more manageable way. Stress management techniques, such as physical exercise, journaling, or listening to calming music, can also support a balanced state of mind. Engaging in regular exercise helps release endorphins, which naturally improve mood and reduce stress. Journaling allows for the processing of emotions, helping you gain clarity on situations that may otherwise feel overwhelming. Music therapy has been shown to lower stress levels and increase relaxation, making it another valuable tool in your mental resilience toolkit. Furthermore, preparation is key to maintaining calmness under pressure. The more prepared you are for potential challenges, the less likely you are to be overwhelmed by them. Developing problem-solving skills, maintaining a support network, and fostering a proactive mindset ensure that you are not easily shaken when adversity strikes. Understanding potential challenges in advance and rehearsing possible solutions helps minimize panic and increases your confidence in handling high-pressure scenarios. With consistent practice, staying calm under pressure becomes second nature, allowing you to navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. By incorporating these strategies into your daily routine, you equip yourself with the resilience needed to manage stress and approach difficulties with a composed mindset. 4. Ignore insults and stay unshaken. Insults often stem from a place of pain, insecurity, or a desire to provoke a reaction. When someone attacks you with words, it is crucial to remember that their insults only have power if you allow them to affect you. True strength lies in not reacting emotionally, but instead maintaining control over your thoughts and emotions. By developing the ability to ignore insults, you cultivate emotional resilience and assert mastery over your own mind. One way to remain unshaken in the face of verbal attacks is to understand the source of the insult. People who lash out often do so because they're dealing with their own struggles. Their words are more a reflection of their inner turmoil than a true assessment of your character. Recognizing this can help you detach emotionally and prevent their words from having a negative impact on your self-esteem. Another key to ignoring insults is developing unshakable self-confidence. When you truly know your worth, external opinions hold little weight. Confidence is built through self-awareness, personal growth, and surrounding yourself with positive influences. By continuously working on self-improvement and reminding yourself of your strengths, you create an internal foundation that cannot be easily shaken by criticism. Additionally, practicing emotional detachment is an effective strategy in handling insults. Emotional detachment does not mean being indifferent or suppressing your feelings, but rather choosing not to engage emotionally with negativity. One method is to view insults as noise, background chatter that does not deserve your energy. This perspective shift allows you to maintain your peace of mind and respond or not respond in a way that aligns with your best interests. Furthermore, responding to insults with composure rather than retaliation is a sign of emotional intelligence. People who seek to provoke you expect an emotional reaction. By refusing to give them what they want, you strip them of their power. A calm, measured response, or even silence, demonstrate self-control and leave the other person without fuel for further conflict. In many cases, when an instigator sees that their words do not affect you, they lose interest in provoking you further. Moreover, adopting a mindset of empathy can neutralize the sting of an insult. Instead of taking words personally, try to see beyond them. Ask yourself, what might this person be going through that led them to act this way? This shift in perspective can turn an insult into an opportunity for understanding rather than conflict. While you are not obligated to tolerate disrespect, viewing insults with detachment and compassion can help you remain emotionally stable. Building emotional resilience through positive affirmations, daily self-reflection, and controlled exposure to criticism strengthens your ability to remain unshaken. Practicing positive self-talk reaffirms your inner confidence, helping to counteract any negativity directed your way. Reflecting on past experiences where you handled insults well can reinforce your ability to do so again. Controlled exposure to constructive criticism helps desensitize you to negativity and reinforces your emotional endurance. Ultimately, choosing to ignore insults and stay unshaken is an act of power. It signifies that you control your emotions rather than allowing external negativity to dictate your state of mind. By mastering this skill, you elevate yourself above petty conflicts and gain true self-mastery. In the long run, those who rise above insults and maintain their dignity emerge as the stronger individuals in any situation. Cultivating emotional resilience ensures that external negativity never holds power over your peace, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and grace. 5. Step back to take control. In moments of stress or confrontation, our natural instinct is often to react immediately. This is a survival mechanism, a reflex deeply embedded in our psyche. However, not all situations require immediate action, especially those that involve emotional or interpersonal challenges. This is where the power of stepping back comes into play. Before you react, take a step back. Count to 5. Observe your emotions. These few seconds of delay create a critical buffer between the trigger and your response. This buffer is more than just a pause. It is an opportunity to assess the situation, to become aware of what is happening within you, and to choose a response that aligns with your true intentions rather than a knee-jerk reaction. This ability to pause is one of the most important skills you could develop, as it allows you to turn a moment of potential conflict or distress into a conscious, measured decision. This practice of pausing and observing is an essential skill for emotional intelligence and self-control. Imagine a heated argument where you feel your frustration rising. Instead of lashing out with words you might later regret, stepping back gives you the ability to assess. What exactly is making you angry? Is the issue worth escalating? What outcome do you truly desire from this conversation? The ability to pause allows you to see beyond the immediate emotions and make decisions that serve your best interests. With repeated practice, this skill can become second nature, allowing you to navigate even the most challenging situations with grace and confidence. Stepping back is not just a mental exercise. It involves physical awareness as well. When you feel overwhelmed, try taking deep breaths, focusing on your body, and grounding yourself in the present moment. The physical act of stepping back, literally moving a few steps away, closing your eyes for a moment, or shifting your focus, can reinforce the mental process of regaining control. Some people find it helpful to count to 10 instead of 5, or even practice a short mindfulness exercise to deepen the effect. Furthermore, practicing the skill regularly enhances your resilience and adaptability. Over time, it strengthens your ability to manage stress, navigate difficult conversations, and maintain composure under pressure. It is a technique used by leaders, athletes, and negotiators alike because it fosters clarity and thoughtful decision-making. The most successful individuals in any field know the value of patience and calculated responses, and they cultivate the discipline to step back before acting impulsively. Incorporate this practice into your daily life. Whether in traffic, during a disagreement, or when faced with unexpected bad news, train yourself to pause. Recognize that control over your actions is always within your reach, and it begins with a simple step back. The more you implement this strategy, the more empowered you will feel, knowing that you are not at the mercy of external triggers, but rather the master of your own responses. 6. Endure with purpose, strength through suffering. Life is not without its challenges. Struggles, pain, and hardships are inevitable, but how we endure them defines who we are. True strength does not come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from embracing it and enduring with purpose. When you shift your perspective on suffering, you gain an invaluable tool for personal growth. The misconception that strength means never struggling or never showing vulnerability is misleading. Real strength lies in our ability to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. When difficulties arise, our instinct may be to resist or escape, but growth happens in discomfort. Just as muscles strengthen through resistance training, our character is built through the trials we endure. It is in these moments of struggle that we find our greatest opportunities for self-improvement, resilience, and inner wisdom. Enduring with purpose means understanding the why behind your struggle. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge make me better? A setback can either be a burden or an opportunity, depending on how we perceive it. If we can see suffering as a teacher rather than an enemy, we transform our hardships into stepping stones for personal growth. Each challenge presents a unique opportunity to refine our patience, fortify our willpower, and strengthen our sense of self. One way to cultivate endurance is by shifting our mindset. Instead of viewing pain as a purely negative experience, Recognize it as a sign of transformation. Every challenge carries a lesson. Think of individuals who have endured great hardships, whether athletes pushing past their limits, entrepreneurs facing repeated failures, or individuals overcoming personal tragedies. Their ability to persist, to endure the struggle with a purpose in mind, is what makes them strong. The most accomplished people in the world have used their suffering as a catalyst for success, transforming their pain into motivation to achieve their goals. Additionally, enduring with purpose requires emotional fortitude. This means allowing yourself to feel pain without letting it consume you. Accepting suffering as part of the journey, rather than resisting it, helps you build resilience. The goal is not to become numb to hardship, but to face it with a sense of purpose and determination. The ability to withstand challenges with courage and self-awareness separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Finally, remember that endurance is not about going through struggles alone. Seeking support from others, friends, mentors, or even professional guidance can reinforce your ability to endure. Strength is not just about individual toughness. It is also about knowing when to lean on others. No great journey is undertaken alone, and building a strong support system can make the path more bearable and meaningful. In the end, enduring with purpose means choosing to grow from hardship rather than be defeated by it. When challenges arise, face them with the knowledge that each struggle is refining you, strengthening you, and preparing you for greater things ahead. Through suffering, you gain unshakable inner strength, and in that strength lies true power. By adopting this perspective, you not only survive difficulties, but use them as a foundation for a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. 7. Go with the flow. Embrace what comes. As we reach the final principle of this journey towards self-mastery, we arrive at one of the most transformative yet misunderstood ideas in Stoic philosophy, amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate. Not just to accept your fate, not simply to endure it, but to love it, to embrace every twist of fortune, every unexpected challenge, every painful loss, and every joyful gain is necessary and beneficial to your growth. It's easy to love your life when things are going well, when everything lines up the way you had planned, when success feels within reach, and happiness seems effortless. But what about the times when life doesn't cooperate? What happens when you lose your job unexpectedly? When your relationship crumbles? When illness strikes or life hands you a raw deal you never saw coming? The instinct for most of us is to resist. We push back against the current, fighting the flow of events because they don't align with what we thought we wanted. We become frustrated, bitter, or hopeless. We start asking, why is this happening to me? As though we've been singled out for punishment by the universe. But amor fati calls for something radically different. It calls you to shift your entire relationship with reality. Instead of resisting, it asks you to embrace, to accept wholeheartedly, and even to love what happens, no matter how difficult, painful, or confusing it may seem at the moment. The river analogy, fighting the current versus flowing with life. Picture yourself in a river. If you fight against the current, flailing and struggling, you exhaust yourself. You feel like you're drowning. You make no progress. And the river seems to grow stronger the harder you resist. But if you stop fighting and allow yourself to float with the current, you conserve your energy. You move with the river rather than against it. You begin to notice the scenery, the lessons, and perhaps even a path that leads to something better than what you were trying to force. Life works much the same way. We can resist what happens, complaining, blaming, and clinging to how we think things should be. Or we can practice acceptance. We can trust that everything that happens is part of the natural flow of our existence, and that it's happening for us, not to us. The wisdom of the Stoics on amor fati. The ancient Stoics understood this concept deeply. Epictetus, who lived most of his life as a slave before becoming one of history's most revered philosophers, taught that we should not wish for events to happen as we desire. Instead, we should wish for them to happen as they do. And then, he said, you will go on well. This is the heart of amor fati. It's the realization that you do not control the external events of life. What you do control is how you interpret them, how you respond, and how you integrate them into your personal narrative. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and another great Stoic, wrote in his personal journal, now known as meditations. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Imagine yourself as that fire. Whatever life throws at you, whether joy or tragedy, you burn brightly. You turn everything into fuel for your personal growth. Obstacles become opportunities. When you love your fate, obstacles stop being roadblocks. They become opportunities. Every difficulty becomes a challenge you are meant to overcome, and every setback becomes a soil in which your resilience grows. Think about the hardest thing you've ever been through. At the time, it may have seemed unbearable, but did it teach you something? Did it make you stronger? Did it lead you to something you didn't expect? Maybe losing that job gave you the push you needed to pursue a passion you had buried for years. Maybe a failed relationship taught you boundaries, self-respect, and ultimately led you to someone who values you deeply. When you look at life through the lens of a more fatty, you no longer label things as good or bad. You see them as necessary. Even suffering becomes something sacred, a chance to grow in wisdom and compassion. Practical steps to cultivate a more fatty. But how do we develop this mindset? It's not always easy, especially when we're in the thick of pain or uncertainty. Here are some practical ways to embrace a more fatty in your daily life. Reframe the narrative. When something difficult happens, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift the question to, "How is this happening for me? What lesson is hidden in this experience? What strength is this moment asking you to develop?" Practice presence. A more fatty requires you to live in the present moment. Much of our suffering comes from resisting what is and wishing things were different. Be here now. Accept what is happening now without judgment or resistance. Trust in the bigger picture. We can't always understand why something is happening when we're in the middle of it, but life often makes sense in hindsight. Trust that there is a bigger picture, even if you can't see it yet. Faith in the process is key. Use affirmations. Simple reminders can help shift your mindset. Repeat to yourself, "I embrace everything life brings me," or "This is happening for my highest good." Over time, your subconscious begins to believe these affirmations, and your resistance lessens. Take action where you can. Release what you can't control. A more fatty doesn't mean you give up. You still act, make decisions, and pursue goals. But you release the need to control every outcome. Do your part, and then let life unfold as it will. Freedom through acceptance. True freedom, the Stoics believe, comes not from controlling external events, but from mastering your inner world. When you practice a more fatty, you find peace, because you are no longer battling with reality. You align yourself with life's flow instead of constantly swimming upstream. This doesn't mean you won't feel pain, grief, or disappointment. You're human, and those emotions are natural. But with a more fatty, you experience them without getting stuck in them. You allow them to teach you, and then you move forward stronger and wiser than before. When you embrace what comes, you discover a kind of invincibility. Nothing can harm you because you have made peace with everything. You become like the fire Marcus Aurelius described, turning every experience, no matter how difficult, into fuel for your growth. Self-control isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. The less you react impulsively, the more power you hold over your life. Every day, life will present you with situations beyond your control, but you always have a choice in how you respond. You can resist and suffer, or you can embrace and grow. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to like this video, share it with someone who might need this reminder, and subscribe for more content like this. Together, let's continue this journey of self-mastery, learning not just to endure life, but to love it. A more fatty, love your fate, embrace what comes,